Falcons fans? Welcome to another great edition of FalconZone. I'm your host, Jeremy, the Impact York, and man, do we have so many great things to talk about today. We actually do. We actually do. Uh, a lot of them are going to be about the Panthers. But no, there is some things to take away from this game. There is some things to take away from this game. Um, we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to preview the upcoming week because I think they would have a pretty good. I think they'll have a pretty good chance to rebound. But as always, if you want to follow the show, you can find us on all the social medias under the Impact 99. Will find me or Impact underscore. That's the line at the bottom. Media underscore. Once again, that's the line at the bottom. The one looks like this. All the words are here. Impact underscore media underscore on YouTube. You will find all of our shows outside of our hockey show Board Tech. It has its own. That is Board Tech 99 for any hockey fans there. Man, the only thing that would have made this game worse this week is if they would have been playing behind me, because that would have been just horrid. Just not good. Not good at all. Raheem Morris said, and this is not me taking shots at him, this is not me defending him, this is just repeating what he said. He said, Michael Penix didn't have a good day. Yeah, we're aware, coach. And didn't look his best. Didn't seem like he was on his game. We won't even say his best game. He wasn't on his game. One of the worst games I've seen him play. Good to get that one out, I guess, because I mean you are still in this thing. But it seemed to me that he was. I don't know if it was the pressure that the Panthers were putting on him, and they were putting some hits on him. I don't know if he started to see ghosts at some point, which is a thing. It seemed like he was rushing passes, and he was just off a little bit, and he was just failing them, just way. I mean, look, even off screen, just way over the heads of people like Kyle Pitts and Drake London, who are like 6'12". It just tells you how high up he's throwing the ball. It's he was finding Bijan a little bit, not really a lot. It was more when he would sit in the pocket, they were on him pass rush wise, and when he stepped up in the pocket, they were on him again. He tried to scramble out a little bit. I told you guys the Panthers have got some defensive killers. They've been building their young defense and adding good veterans for a couple years. That's actually the strong point of their team. Now, granted, they give up 0 points. I mean, I understand their offense put up 30, but that was more the Atlanta defense out of position and not making tackles and not executing basics than that is Carolina showcasing a bunch of offensive talent. In fact, let's go to their side. Bryce Young, 16 for 24 for 121. See what I mean? He completed 2/3 of his passes. There's not a problem there for 121 yards. But yeah, they scored 30 points. Starting to see what I'm saying? Chuba Hubbard, 17 carries for 73 yards. Rico Dowdle got 30 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. Bryce Young also scampered for a touchdown. You guys see what I'm seeing here? 2 of their touchdowns are on the ground. None of them were in the air. It's not like they're the offensive. This is not the Rams from the Kurt Warner days. All right. This is not the what was it, Dick Vermeil? This is not Marshall Faulk. This is not that. And they're not offensive juggernaut. So congratulations to the Panthers on winning. I saw a Panthers fan the last couple of days, and I congratulated him, and I said, hey, not just the Falcons fans, but to majority of the room. say what you want to say this week. Your team showed out. They got a monster win, and nobody can argue to the contrary. But let's hold the phone here of they're gonna challenge the Bucs or surpass the Falcons for the number 2 or number 1 spot in the division. No thanks. Their defense is going to carry them a lot, but you know how many times they're going to score 30 points this year? They played 3 games, so they have what 13 or 14. Let's see, 9 and 8, 7. So they have 14 more games. Of those 14, do you know how many times they're going to score 30 points or more? I say no more than 3. No more than they're either 3 or none. I mean, not none. 3, 2, somewhere in there. They're if they win games going forward, it's going to be 13-12. It's going to be 20-17. It's going to be a lot of small score stuff. That's the team they are right now. Bryce Young loves to play the Falcons. I think he's 2-0 in the last 2. You know, big time win last year in the season finale. But Bryce Young's a good player, a good young player. But like I said, none of these guys are game breakers. They're Grant McMillan. Was it Tetaroa McMillan? Yeah, that kid's special. We'll give him something. But I don't see Hunter Renfro's a good player, a good solid player. He's not a game breaker. I like him. By the way, he's a great pickup in fantasy a lot of times. But outside of Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle, they're not setting the world on fire. Trevor Etienne, did he have any carries whatsoever? He did not. Didn't even have any catches. So where did all this come from, right? That's where it all come from. It came from their defense. And it came from the Falcons making mistakes and not capitalizing when they had the opportunity. That's what it all comes down to. This I'm not going to hang it completely on the coaching staff. It's a lot on the coaching staff. I would say it's 50-60% easy, and the rest of it's on the players. I can't blame the GM. The GM has bought some really great groceries. At this point, the chef dumped it all on the floor. And just, like I said, this is on the players and the coaches to me. A little more coaches than players, because clearly coaches, you didn't prepare them. You didn't get them close. Because, I mean, this is how much disarray there was. Was it Zach Taylor, the offensive coordinator? Yep. Instead of him sitting up here, they said, nah, you're going to be down here now. There ain't gonna be no miscommunication, and you can blame it on the communication system in Michael Penix's helmet was malfunctioning. Is there one helmet? Is there one helmet? You have one helmet that all this picks up on? I'm getting animated about a helmet. There's just one. There's not another one. There's not. You don't have a tech guy. You don't have anybody on staff, anybody in the building, anybody under contract with the team. I understand there's not a Radio Shack anymore. There wasn't a Best Buy up the road or something like that. You go, hey, we just need one of these little things and one of these little things. And, oh, danger, Will Robinson, we can actually hear now. I mean, this is the NFL. Multi-billion, almost probably $1 trillion a year business. And you're telling me you want to blame the fact that you got blown out. You got ran out of the building. At least it wasn't your building, but you got ran out of your building 30-0 by somebody in your division. And you want us to say it's communication? Last time I checked, Michael Penix, 2 years ago, was in college. They've just started putting earpieces into college. Guess what more than likely happened when he was in college? He would go, ready, set, and then you see him look this way. It bugs me to no end, but it looks this way. And over at the sideline, guess what he sees? He sees a guy in an orange hat and a guy in a green hat, and that way you don't know which one he's supposed to look at. But let's say he's looking at the green hat guy, and the green hat guy goes, and that means we're running a jet sweep to the left. And he turns back around and he says, green 19, green 19. And the rest of his team goes, great, that's a jet sweep that way. If we got to go back to old school, because when this thing first starts malfunctioning, if I'm Raheem Morris, I'm immediately going, hey, I need somebody down here telling him what the play is. Because if he don't know the play, how is he supposed to run it? That's why I say this is more on coaching. At some point, you got to figure out. It's like being you don't even have to be the captain of the ship, but let's say you're one of the officers on one of the not even a pirate ship. Let's not even get into that. On a regular ship, you just say you're part of the Queen's Navy back in the day, and you're one of the officers on the ship, and you see that you're supposed to be going north, and for some reason you're going east. You might want to go ask the coach, hey, any reason we're going east, not north? I thought we were going north. Or, hey, I don't think that rope's supposed to be just dangling like that. That's probably supposed to be tied to the mast so that our ship stays together. Or there's a decent amount of water in the bottom compartment. Maybe we should see where the water's coming from, make sure we're not going to see the bottom of the ocean soon. I don't get it. That's your job. That's your job, is to report things. That is your job, to report things. Just a handful of weeks ago, I told a bunch of our small little group at church, a bunch of young leaders, if you see something that looks a little off, the first thing you should do is identify it, and the second thing is tell somebody, even if it's nothing at all. Let us figure that out. Tell them, this doesn't look right. Hey, that light's flickering. Maybe we should replace the bulb. Hey, isn't that door supposed to be locked? Simple things that even a small child can figure out when he's in. You tell him this at school. Hey, something doesn't look quite right. Say something. Hey, there's a weird looking guy on the playground. Let's see if we know who that is. Is it the janitor that works there? Or is it somebody who shouldn't be there? It's simple things to do. So if you're the coaching staff for the Falcons, there's not anything you can say outside of, that's on me. That's the only answer I want to hear, is for you to say, that's on me, that's on the other coaches. We didn't do, forget it good enough, we didn't do the job whatsoever of getting these guys ready to go. And then it falls on the players that even if you're not prepared in the way that you should by the leadership in the room, you're a professional athlete. Do you not know how to play? You suddenly wake up and go, I don't, what are we doing here? Are we playing Chinese checkers, or are we playing Fortnite? I mean, what is this? I mean, if I'm Michael Penix and I'm having trouble listening to the plays, well, I'm going to at least call a couple that I know. I'm going to look at Drake London in the huddle and go, hey, can you run a post route? If you run a post route, I'll have you run a post route. I'll have Mooney run a slant route, and the rest of the people do button hooks back towards me. Bijan, I need you to stay in and help block, because number 97 is eating me for lunch every single play. I don't understand why you can't just go, hey, these are working. Let's do those. Or if you're the coaching staff, I've seen this done in college. I've seen this done in high school. It happens a lot more in high school. I even see it. Basketball is notorious for doing this. But you call 2 or 3 plays at a time, preferably 2. 3 is a lot. You call 2 plays. We're going jet sweep this way. That's just my favorite play that we're going to call today. It's not my actual favorite, and it's just the one apparently I'm going to keep saying. We're going jet sweep that way, and we're going to follow that with spider 2 wild banana. Got that? The quarterback goes, got you, coach. Got you, coach. I got you. Okay, repeat it back to me real quick. Jet sweep, spider 2 wild banana. Got it. So we go to the huddle. Guess what we do? Hey, we're going to do a jet sweep this way. And then we're going to do a spider 2 wild banana. Everybody get that? Jet sweep, spider 2 wild banana. Got it. I'm going to run jet sweep. Unless I see something crazy, And the only thing I'm going to do is audible to run it the other way. But if the jet sweep, as soon as jet sweep's over, I won't even huddle. I come back up to the line. Spot or two wide banana. You guys know what this is. Yellow four. Yellow four. Spot or two wide banana. And after you do that play, guess what coach has already got ready? Two more. He's got two more. And he's going to say, hey, we're going to go power between the left tackle and the left guard. And we're going to follow that with Penix is going to roll out to the right. And if he's got room, he's going to take off. And if he doesn't have room, I need him to hit somebody right over the middle. Kyle Pitts, I need you in the middle of the field. And just call two plays at a time. And after the second play, have him loop over there or give him some sort of signal, and he comes back and tells you the two plays. Look at that. You didn't even need an earpiece. And this is coming from a media guy. It's the same thing you guys are doing. You guys are watching on TV. You're watching on your tablets. You're watching on your favorite devices, whatever those are. And you're looking and going, I could relay these. How come these grown men that are making way more money than me can't figure out that if the technology doesn't work, go back to the old school? How hard is that? I was going to break down the stats even more, but this is a way better point. How in the world you can't just get away from fundamentals? It's like oh man, look how pretty this color paint is that we can make the house. Well, you ain't poured the basement yet. Why are you worried about the outside of the house when you haven't even poured the foundation yet? When you get the foundation right, then you put the first level on. Guess what? Do you paint it then? No. You put the second level on. What do you do after that? You put a roof on it. You put the outside wall. Maybe you put the inside wall. You know when you paint the house? At the end, towards the end, when you got the rest of the structure ready to go, then you worry about what color you want to do. You want to do midnight blue. You want to do canary yellow. You want to do hunter green. You want to do onyx black. It doesn't matter at that point. But right now, it seemed like this week they were too worried about what color the house is as opposed to, I don't know, making sure it won't fall on somebody. Get in there. Lack of a better way to I'll put in some construction terms. If you guys don't know what these are, and mostly I'm aiming this at the players in the organization and the coaches. If you don't know what these construction terms are, look them up. They're real simple. Right now, you guys need to dig a foundation. You need to dig the footings, pour the daggum concrete, and start there. And when your basement looks good, when the walls of the basement are there, then we can worry about the first level. But right now they're not doing the fundamentals, and that's why you get embarrassed by going all the way out to Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, and you get embarrassed 30-0. That's what happens. It's what absolutely happens when you're not ready. You're not prepared. Quit worrying about what color the house is. Because right now your house can't stand up. You got no foundation. You got the pieces for a foundation. If this was a puzzle, if this was ingredients for a cake, hey, you got them all out. You got your eggs, you got your flour, you got your vanilla extract, you got your whatever kind of stuff you're going to put on this cake. And you worry about what the icing's going to be? You got to bake the cake. Bake the cake. Pour the foundation. It's not hard. The execution is the hardest part. You guys can't get to the execution, though, because you can't get the fundamentals right. And when you get the fundamentals right, this team is going to be cooking to a level that Gordon Ramsay himself is going to go, my goodness, look how good they look. This team is too good to not do the basics right, and they're not doing them. They're not doing them at all. They fired Ike Hilliard, the wide receiver coach. Yeah, it was his fault. The wide receiver coach. Last time I checked, the wide receivers were getting crushed because they were trying to catch passes that were either in front of them, behind them, under them, or on top of them, over the top of them, and they were getting crushed by the defenders. But that's Ike Hilliard's problem. Do you think they ran the wrong route? They didn't look like they were running the wrong routes to me. I guess you got to fire somebody after getting routed like that, but I don't think it was Ike Hilliard. So, I got you, buddy. It wasn't you. In case it was you, you did a good job of masquerading it then. But I don't. How is it the? It's the wide receiver's fault. The wide receiver coach. What game we watching? What game we watching? Once again, it's forget painting the house. They're worried about roof color, or they're worried about if they should put a second bathroom on the main level or something. You got to dig some footings, man. You got to pour the foundation. You, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm even going to retract what I said earlier. You know what the bright spot is of this? The bright spot is that game's behind you. Nothing about that game is in front of you anymore. It's not. And you can say, well, that loss could hang big. Maybe. You got to put together some wins first. You got to get those foundations poured. You got to dig the footings. You got to do the basics. Because if you're not doing the basics, then might as well look forward to this every week because that's pretty much what it's going to look like. And if it looks like this, consider a complete house cleaning because Arthur just is going to lose so much patience. Think he's not already a little antsy? He got rid of Young Ho Koo, who has hit some of the bigger kicks in the last handful of years. Not like Romo had a great day either. I think he was about 0 for 3, 0 for 4 in field goals. And see with the field goal kicker, it may not all be him. Maybe it was the kicker. Maybe it was the holder. Maybe it was the snapper. Maybe it was the line. Maybe it was the price of tea on Neptune. I don't know. It can be a lot of things. That's why I say this is a group effort. You have to equally be bad at the same time to have something like that happen, and it doesn't get any easier. Now you play a team that's only won one more game than you. They're 2-1, and you're 1-2. However, that game didn't get that team didn't get routed 30-0 last week. In fact, what did they do? Let me look. They won last week 41-24 over the Raiders. They beat the Giants 21-6 in the opening week. Their only loss came to the Packers on a Thursday night when they lost 27-18. Only 9 points. So in case you guys don't know what team that is, that's the Washington Commanders, who are led by your former head coach, Dan Quinn. Turns out he can coach. I knew that. I think you guys knew that too. Something the organization is learning now. Sure, it's going to matter if Jaden Daniels plays. If Jaden Daniels plays, this is a way bigger team. If Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry plays, I don't think he will, honestly. I think his hamstring's gonna hold him out, or quad, or whatever it is. Sure, those are two of their better players. But if the Falcons don't do the basics right, if you don't block for the running back, if you don't get after the quarterback, if you don't, I mean, I'd say the first 4 or 5 passes I do from Michael Penix are 5 yards or less. I want to get his confidence up. I want him to feel like he can't miss. I want to get people involved early. I want to get Kyle Pitt. I don't know. I might throw to him 3 times in a row if he's open. Do the basics. This is a 1 p.m. This is at home. Here's one request from the leader of Impact Media and from the host of FalconZone. Falcons, can you not embarrass yourself at home? Can we do that? Can we just not embarrass ourselves? Sure, I want you to win. But if for some reason you come up short, can we come up a little short? Can it be 31-28? Can it 28-27? Can it look like you tried? Can you do the basics? Do the basics right. That's all the fan base is. All these people out here. I know this is a United game, but all the people out here, all the people that are going to buy tickets, all people that are going to spend a ton of money to go to this. At least the snacks are still available. There's still great prices on those. I mean, like a $3 hot dog, fantastic. Uh, but the family of four that decided this was the game they can go to. Maybe the family of six. Maybe the buddies from college. Maybe a longtime Falcons fan that's going to have a chance to go to one or two more games before they're just not going to be able. They're going to be at this, and they're just hoping. Sure, they want to see a win. We all want to see a win, but they're just hoping. Don't be embarrassed. Just do the basics. Do the basics right. If you do the basics right, like I said, I don't care if Jaden Daniels plays or not. I don't care if Scary Terry's out there or not. No matter who they line up, you get after the quarterback. You're starting to kind of see that happen with these rookies, and those rookies are starting to turn loose the veterans around them to be a little more explosive as well. Get after the quarterback, number one. These are the keys. Key number two, we get Penix comfortable very, very early. Like I said, I don't care if it's first 5 passes or 5 yards or less. Kyle Pitts, 2-yard slant, 3-yard slant. Once again, I echo Casey Bass from Hometown Sports Media. The 3-yard slant, one of the most underrated plays in the history of football. The 3-yard slant. And go. You hit them quick, they're gone. How about we hit Kyle Pitts over the middle? How about we hit Bijan in the flat? How about we hit Drake London on the short button up? Throw it to him on the line. Let him just take off. These playmakers can create space. If you get them the ball, they will create space and get down the field. Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod, Alford, Penix himself. He's not going to break speed records, but the dude can scramble. The dude can get yards. A lot of these teams are spotting him yards because he hasn't taken them yet. When he starts proving them wrong, it starts getting 6 and 8 yard runs here and there, just nonstop. They'll start plugging up that area. And when they do that, it opens it all up. So we got to get after the quarterback. I don't care who he is. Get pressure on him, knock him around, because if you don't think that's effective, then you didn't see what they did to Penix last week. They were knocking him around. They were sacking, even if they weren't getting sacked on the plays, they were hurrying him up and they were bumping into him all the time to where he was uncomfortable. I promise you, if you do that to anybody in life, it will make them uncomfortable. You start moving them around against their will, and they will be very uncomfortable. Let's make whoever their quarterback is uncomfortable. And as I said, number two, let's make Penix just as comfortable as we can early. Like I said, short pass. I don't care. Just short, easy stuff. I want him to just boom, boom, boom. It's not hard. It's not hard, Paul. Not hard at all. Let's see. Number three. Let's go to the theme for tonight. Can we do the basics? We do the basics right? Let's get 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Hit a field goal. Basics. We're not asking you to rebuild the team. We're not asking Penix to throw a 46-yard bomb down the field. It'd be great. It's not necessary. You can win without that. We're not asking the defense to have 12 sacks. We're just asking you to put the other quarterback in an uncomfortable position, make him make mistakes. Once again, if you're not sure that's effective, look at your quarterback performance last week. He was completely uncomfortable the entire game. The entire game. Caused him to make mistakes. It's not necessarily all his fault. He was made uncomfortable, and he couldn't get around it. So he reacted the way most humans do and just was erratic and was trying to put it together. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Looks like the Commanders are a 3.5-point favorite. That means they'd be 6.5 if they played in Washington. Because you get 3 points for being at home in the NFL. So that tells you what Vegas is saying. Vegas thinks, Falcons fans, that your team is going to lose by a touchdown. They think you're going to lose by a touchdown. I don't think you are. I think you're going to bring it. And you want to prove Dan Quinn wrong, and you want to prove your management right. You want to prove Dan Quinn wrong. Dan Quinn thinks he's going to march in here and take this. He's played in this building before. He's going to prepare his guys. Hey, when you play in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, this is what it feels like. I'm sure he's going to echo that at practice, and he's going to try to imitate it as much as possible. So it's up to you, players, you, coaching staff, just do the basics. The fans are out there. Like I said, they're going to pack this place because they want to see their Falcons do well. They know their Falcons are way better than what they're seeing on TV. And for the people that can only go to one game here and there, give them a show. Give them a show. And that's not T.I. at halftime. That'd be great, by the way. We'll give them a show. That's all I ask. Do the basics. Just do the basics. It's a great strategy for life, you know? Don't worry about fancy cars and doing the fancy stuff. Do the basics. When you get those, then do them again. And then add a little more to it, and add a little more to it. And you can make it more complicated as you go. But if you're not doing the basics, how can you ever get anywhere else? Like I said, you've got to dig the foundation. You've got to pour the concrete. You got to dig the footing. Look them up, guys. It's how you set up your house. Whether it's a basement, whether it's a slab, it doesn't matter. But you can't worry about what color the house is going to be painted or what kind of roof you're going to put on it if you don't do the foundation, if you don't do the basement right. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Football is not a complicated game. There's not a bunch of unwritten rules like baseball. There's not a bunch of weird interpretations like soccer. And these are all great sports, but football is one of the more basic ones. You either run the ball or you either pass the ball and catch it, or you try to stop the other team from doing that. And occasionally, you kick it to the upright. It's not hard. It's not that hard. And I think these Falcons are way better than this. I said early season, 9 or 10 wins? They can still do that. That's not that far-fetched. To get 9 wins, that is 8 more. You've got 8 wins before in a whole season. Well, it means you can't do it now, 9 or 10. It's not that hard. If you win 8 more games, you end up 9-8. You know what 9-8 is going to probably do? Get you right in the wild card hunt. You win 10 games, you might win the South. Tampa's not going to stay as hot as they are. And Carolina's not going to blow people out 30-0. I just told you, their offense didn't score that many points. It's just you left them on the doorstep all the time, and they scooped them up. So, Falcons, we know you're better than this, than what we saw. We just hope we see it sooner rather than later, because it needs to get going. It really does. Let's end on a positive note. That was positive. I think that was a lot of positive. That wasn't that much negative, right? Right? Okay. Let's end on a super positive note. Game prediction. And I'm not just saying this because it's a Falcon show, because there are going to be weeks when I say I don't think you're going to win. I think you're going to win this game. I believe you're going to win this game. I think I was a little ambitious before when I was saying what a close effort would look like. 31, I think, is a little high, but what if it's 27-24? You're going to win a close one. 27-24 Falcons. You're going to hit a couple field goals. Drake London's going to score a touchdown. Bijan Robinson's going to score a touchdown. I'm doing math in my head now. That, what I say, 27. So, yeah, Drake London gets one in the air. Bijan gets one on the ground. And Ray McLeod catches a wheel route coming out of the backfield. And he's going to score the third touchdown. And then Romo's going to get the two field goals, and you're going to beat Dan Quinn. You're going to welcome Dan Quinn back by beating him in the building he coached in. That's what I think is going to happen. So 27-24, Falcons are going to win. Falcons on top. Falcons going to win. And we've reached the end of the show. So shout out to all you amazing people out there for tuning in. I am Jeremy the Impact York. This has been another great edition of FalconZone. We'll see you guys next week. Deuces, gooses. Go Falcons.